Hi everyone and welcome to your Talent Palette. This is the fourth video of the tutorial series I've put together to help you find your feet with the platform. And in this one we're going to look at some admin and housekeeping features that you can use to manage your organization, your profile, your documents, and importantly, your subscription. Okay, so to get to your admin panel, as you'd expect, you'll click this icon here and we'll go through these in order. So let's start off with your profile settings. As you'd expect, you can come here, change your password. You can enable two-factor authentication, which I highly recommend for additional security. Simply use your authentication app of choice, whether it's Google or Microsoft or something else. For additional security, you can also set the screen to timeout at one of these times. I typically go for an hour. Again, you might be at your laptop, you get distracted, you walk away, and this will make sure it closes it down in your absence. All very simple, basic stuff so far. Team page. So here you can change preferences for the organization. In the video for asset generation, I showed you that for your team, you can set by default if English is your language. There are other languages on here. But if English is what you're using, you can decide whether you want US or UK to be what the AI generates. You can either mandate it across your entire organization, whether it's a master profile, master and department profiles, or you can turn this off and let people decide when they're generating their assets what they would like that preference to be. Here is where you can invite new members and you can have editors or administrators. As it says, choose carefully who you invite as an administrator because they have access to absolutely everything. So the chances are you may want one more, but the rest will be either editors or reviewers. And reviewers are cost as they are because they're more about collaboration on assets that you generate as opposed to generating or deleting or inviting anyone or anything. When you invite somebody, it will show you here those pending invites. It charges at the point of invitation and then you get a countdown, and if they don't join within 7 days, you get a full refund, so nothing to worry about. The reason why it has to do that at charging at the point of invitation is because some cards require you to authorize payments at the point of a transaction. So it will take you to Stripe, ask you to confirm the payment, and then you come back. But here you have a very handy countdown that says who was invited, their email address, how many days until their invitation expires, and then it also reminds you if they don't join within that time, you will have a full refund. Here is where you can delete your organization. There's a lot of security and fail-safes put into this. It tells you what you're losing. You have to force yourself to type something in, again, just so you don't do anything by mistake. My documents. Now, as you go through this, you upload documents. It might be about your culture, about your values or what have you. Here is where you can keep a track of who can access what. And if you want to, you can delete them, download them, and full management. Anything you delete from here is deleted from databases instantly to be compliant with all the data and GDPR, etc. And if you want further cleanup tool, you can do it by team member. You may find you have some orphaned documents, which means someone was part of your organization, they uploaded something to a job, they delete the job, you then remove the team member, maybe they leave the company, but their document is still in the system. So you can come here, search for everything, and then flush it all out should you want to. Notifications. As you would have seen if you have seen the videos about profile creation, job creation, asset generation, in all of those you can leave comments and co-create and collaborate. So for example, let's go to an asset. I've created this boilerplate. I look at it, I leave a comment. If there were more people on here, I would tag them, but let's just tag myself. Are you okay with this? Oopsie daisy, would help if I could type, and I leave that comment. What I will then see, if it was not me messaging myself, is an orange dot here. I would go to my notifications, and here I can see feedback, where I can either go in and view it again. It takes me straight to it for simplicity. Or I can go back through my notifications, view it, and I might resolve it here. And that's done. And then that obviously updates in my notifications like that. When you're notified, you get emails to bring you back to see and keep track of what's going on. You can decide to turn those off if you want to, if it becomes overwhelming. Here, if you saw me generating assets, you can move around, do other things, and the platform will give you a nice gentle ping to let you know that your assets are ready for you to go and review. You can turn that off if you want to. Also, in asset generation, just as a reminder, if you haven't seen the previous video on this, you can go and look at an asset and you can turn on gender decoder to show you how balanced the language you're using is in that copy. And you can edit it. Again, I'll just give you a quick example here. You'll be the creative force. You can click on that. Let's say creative driver. There we go. And that shifts and changes in real time. Come out of there, save changes. But what you might want to do, you might not want the coder throughout. So I've just turned it on. You might want to turn it off. You can do that here. This is where there's the README tip for job adverts. So if we go back to that job advert, there's a README tip which explains why it lays things out in the way that it does and in the volume that it does. Gives a bit of best practice and science on the difference between how men and women view jobs, which is why you don't want to include 20 bullet points of what you're looking for. You might read that once and say, yep, I've got it. Thank you very much. And that badge disappears. Or if you want that back for any reason, you can come here, turn that back on, and it will reappear. Right, the important part. You may have heard me, if you've seen the other videos, talk about some driving principles that I've had at the heart of building this platform around simplicity, intuitiveness, transparency, credibility, and quality. Now, when it comes to SaaS platforms, they can be, let's say, a little bit questionable in their practices. So first and foremost, when you sign up, in some of these platforms that you may have experienced, when you go to cancel your plan, it's not as easy to cancel as it is to join. You know, the cancel button is within a sub-menu, within a subfolder, within a subcategory, and you've got to go through a labyrinth to exit the damn thing. With this app, I want you to get rid of all of those shenanigans. Once you've signed up, if you want to cancel your plan, you can come here and there's a big red button. The only thing it will do, not like these other SaaS platforms that when you hit cancel, it begs and pleads for you to stay. Cancel platform. Are you sure you want to leave? Yes, I am. What if we give you a 50% discount? Or why didn't you give me that before? No, thank you very much. I still want to unsubscribe. Are you absolutely positive? Yes, please let me leave. But what if I give you my firstborn? No, I still want to get out of here. You know, I'm semi-joking, but it can get a bit like that with some of them. But if you want to leave, this just tells you that if you do decide you don't want to subscribe anymore, we don't delete everything. You can still access the platform. All your assets will be there. You just can't create or edit anything. And if you click this, you go through to Stripe, just to show you how that would work. And there you go. You would simply click here, cancel subscription, and it would do that for you. Okay. Tells you the price difference again. You can see your team member breakdown once you start adding new people to your organization. If you want to, you may not need to. Always happy to hear of suggestions, or if you find any bugs, please let me know. You can send me a message via this short form here. That would be great. If there's different assets you want or something else you want added to jobs, let me know. And if there's high enough demand, I'll put it on the roadmap in a prioritized order based on the volume of demand per request. Finally, just to show you some things at the footer. You've got your typical terms. What you don't always get so transparently is security, but you can click here and it talks you through absolutely everything of how this is built, the tools that are used, the protection, whether it's SOC 2 compliant, all the other things I've got plugged in and built into this, etc., etc. GDPR compliance, US privacy laws, everything is here in plain sight, so you can come and have peace of mind that everything is in order and as it should be. Data processing agreement, security questionnaire, which I've got with pre-filled answers, which are typically asked by security and data teams, and the subprocessor list. Everything in the open, answers all your questions. That's the confidence I have in the safety, security, and compliance of this app. God forbid anyone finds anything out of order, then please let me know and I will fix it. But I've done my due diligence, so that should all be where it needs to be. That's it. Hopefully quite simple, really. Back to data, back to the dashboard. So with the 4 videos so far, you can create your profile. You can then create a job or input a job if you already have one. You can then generate a multitude of assets quickly, of high quality, consistently, and those that are compatible with your culture and your working realities to attract those people more likely to not just start in your organization, but more probably will strive and help you and your business succeed too. And the admin, everything you need at your fingertips, easy to navigate, very clear, very simple to use, hopefully. I'll do another couple of videos to bolt on. One is going to be about the additional features you can have with your boilerplates. But I hope you find the app helpful and that it improves your content creation and asset generation and tool production, for everything you need, the essentials you need to engage, attract and hire the talent that you need. Thank you very much, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.